Hey everybody, it's Rolly, and I know that you can't see me right now, and that's kind of on purpose. So as I'm stirring my warm drink, um, so I wanted to jump on to talk a little bit about the fourth annual Women Inspiring Women Conference, Self Love, I Am Enough, You Are Enough. And so this is definitely a virtual event. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about this and how it all kind of comes together and how all of that kind of works. And so here I am. So I am just getting ready to turn in very shortly. I just finished a meeting with one of our speakers. And so I've had several meetings with different speakers. But I wanted to be able to talk a little bit about what the weekend is actually going to entail, what it's going to look like, that kind of thing, because some of the conversations have been like, seriously, how are we going to do this sitting in front of a camera for the entire weekend? So I wanted to kind of give you guys a little bit of an outlook as to what it is that it's going to look like. So the registrations for the conference are weekend only access now. And so we have we're going to be starting on Friday evening at 6 p.m. So we're going to be talking, we're going to be doing our welcome. We're going to be doing some little housekeeping. We're going to be talking about the International Women's Day address. And of course, we're going to introduce our exhibitors expo and how all that works, as well as all the how you're going to be able to access some of the games and the prizes and all that kind of thing. So I'm going to talk about that tomorrow. On the Friday, so starting next Friday. And then we're going to be talking about, so then I'm going to be talking about my relationship with anxiety. And then we're going to have a breakout room. And this is the part that people are like, okay, I don't understand. I don't understand what it is that's going on. So we take a break this many times. And really, that's not what it is that's happening. So we are going to, so when we're referring to the breakout rooms, what's happening is that we are going to be on Zoom. So most of us have had lots of experience with Zoom over this past year. And so we all jump in on Zoom. We're all having conversations. And for anybody who's kind of like, I really don't know how this works, then you're going to be in a Zoom room. And so everybody's going to be on the screen. Everybody's going to be there. And of course, while the speakers are speaking, and then we're going to make sure that everybody's muted. But then at some point through when we're actually going into the breakout sessions is that you're going to kind of get whisked away into another room. And then you're going to get whisked back into the room, into the general room. And so it's actually really kind of magical to be able to see that happen. You just kind of disappear and then you just kind of reappear. And it's actually really cool to be able to see that. At least I think it is anyway. I just think that that's kind of neat how we can actually do this with technology. And so for each time that we actually move into the breakout room, we're going to have a topic of something that we actually want to be focusing in on, generally related to the presentation that has actually happened. So when you kind of move into that breakout room, it gives us that opportunity so that we're actually going to be in a smaller group of women where we actually get to talk and share what was our specific insights as to what it is that was going on with that particular situation or how we can relate to different things. And it allows us to be able to have that opportunity for each person in that smaller room to be able to have a conversation. Because what happens when we're in that larger group is that some of us are going to stay pretty quiet and we're not going to talk and we're just not going to like give a whole lot of information about what it is that's going on because it's more intimidating. So somebody like me, I can go into a Zoom room with like hundreds of people and it's really not a big deal. I'm okay with speaking up for the most part. Sometimes depending on the circumstances and what it is that what I'm doing inside the Zoom room, I may not necessarily be as open to jump in, but that's one of the things that's going to be happening. And then depending on, and you don't have to do anything, you just need to be able to log into the Zoom so that you can actually participate in that part. And then there's some other things, but over the course of next week, anybody who's registered are going to get little messages of, okay, so next step, do this, or these are some of the other things that are going to be happening, and you can go check out this page or you can go check out that page. and things like that. So there's going to be lots of different things. We also have the Facebook group. We're going to have lots of opportunities for chatting and having conversations, that kind of thing, like on a general setting. And actually what I'm going to do is make this screen a little bit bigger. Not the screen, but the image. I think that makes it bigger. Hang on a second. Let me go back and look, just because it might be easier to be able to see. And now I'm getting a notification saying your current window is too small to do that. There. So it makes it a little bit easier for you to be able to see like what's going on that way. But like, so that's one of the things that's happening. So we're going to have like all the different topics and all the different things that are actually, that we're actually going to be sharing. And so like, Dana her topic is touch your tatas. And then, so after her conversation, then we're going to actually then move into another breakout room. So the breakout rooms are not breaks. It's not the number of times that we're actually going to be having those coffee breaks or those pee breaks or those snack breaks, whatever it is that is going on. We're going to ask people to like be hydrated and do the things that they need to be doing that way, so that we can kind of go through the process of the different things that are actually going on. And then Erin's going to talk about mastering your emotions. And so it's a little bit of a longer stretch on the Friday evening. But like, there's going to be lots of interactions. There's going to be lots of times for us to be able to kind of connect. And then we're going to close off on Friday night. And then we're going to go into, we're going to welcome everybody back. And then we're going to do an opening ceremony. So anybody who has attended the physical conference, it's like, okay, well, how are you going to do the opening ceremony? The grandmothers always do the opening ceremony. But because of all the different tech things, and a lot of our grandmothers are not technically inclined, and most of them the invite has been made so that they can attend, and hopefully they will still attend. But the opening ceremony, it's going to look a little bit different than what it would if we were actually in person. So I'm going to lead that, and for the for Saturday morning. And then we're going to move into a little bit of movement with Lori. And then we're going to go into the breakout room after Lori's talk. And then we're going to go into the break. And so depending on what it is that people are going to be needing, is that there's going to be an email sent saying, okay, so Lori's going to need you to bring your yoga mat, or bringing a cushion or something comfy, so that we can actually do whatever it is that she's going to ask of you guys to be able to participate. And then from the breakout room, then we're then going to go, then we're going to actually have a 15-minute break. So we're going to actually have that time to be able to go get a pee break, get water, refreshments, or whatever it is that's going on. Then we're going to connect with with Lisa, and then we're going to go into the breakout room. And again, each time that we move into those breakout rooms gives us that opportunity to be able to chat. And then during our breaks, you have access to going to the exhibitors' rooms and the different things like that. And then during lunch, we're going to be able to have some game time. But during the lunch hours, during the breaks, we're actually going to be staying inside the bigger section, so that we can still have conversations and stuff going on back and forth. But when we break away to the breakout rooms, those are going to be the opportunities for us to be able to go and have that fun and do those different things. We're going to have dinner time, and then we're going to come back and kind of dive in again with some more speakers. And as you can see, there's a couple of them that are like, so Lisa's actually going to be talking to us from United Kingdom. Heidi's actually talking to us from Australia. But one of the other things that's going to be happening, and I'll be introducing the different people throughout, is we have some speakers that are in what's called the video room that are going to be recording some things ahead of time, so that you're going to have some access to some pre-recordings as well. So all of these are going to be recorded and put into the video room for anybody who has registered prior to the weekend. So they have, so prior to last weekend. So the 18th was the cutoff date for those. And so, but you have access to being able to come and join us for the actual conference. So it's really cool. At least I think it's really cool. And like, there's been a lot of thought in terms of how to be able to connect with the different guests and being able to participate that way. So there really has been a lot of thought that way as to how we're going to be doing these things, and how my messy hair, it's been a very long day. But how all these things kind of came together was by having had access to a number of different events over the last year. So it was like, okay, so I really liked how the organizer planned this one. I really like how the organizer planned this one. But one of the things with our conference, with our annual conference, is that we want to make sure that people have that opportunity to be able to have conversations. We want people to have those opportunities for people to have those interactions and meet people. And so it's like super exciting to be able to have, to be able to connect with other women from all over the world. And so we have people from all across Canada, all across the US, and then going all the way into the UK and Australia. So I think that that's super cool that we actually have that opportunity to be able to expand this in our 4th year. So as much as it was somewhat kind of scary, that kind of thing, but for me, from a planning perspective, is being able to kind of get all those things going. And so for anybody who had signed up previously, is like behind me are the rest of the boxes that still need to be shipped out to anybody who is or delivered, because we have anybody that's close by. We've been doing deliveries as well. And so, but there's lots of really cool goodies that are in there and stuff as well. And so some that were sponsored from different businesses. And then, of course, we have prizes that are going to be given away during the conference time. So lots of really cool things are happening. And so over the course of the next couple of days, I'm going to come in and talk a little bit more about the actual topics, like about the theme, more about the theme, kind of like behind the scenes, kind of how, and then the other thing is being able to like, how are all these things going to kind of come together, how we're going to pull it all off, and that kind of thing. So just kind of doing a little bit behind the scenes, and helping people understand. So if you have any questions about the registration, or if you're not really sure how that's going to work, please shoot me a message and let me know, and we will definitely get back to you. This is my weekend off, but I'm going to be doing a lot of the back end stuff around. I still have some family commitment things that I'm going to be working on, but otherwise I'm going to be around and be able to answer some questions. So, but it's definitely not an event that you want to miss. And the more and more that I have that opportunity to connect with the other speakers and the exhibitors, and find out a little bit more about what they do, what they offer, what are some of the things that can really help to bring that that wellness into our lives, and using different holistic modalities that I didn't even know existed. So I'm really super excited to learn about some of those other things as well. So as much as I've been behind the scenes kind of organizing that part of things, is there's still so much that I'm actually going to get to learn over the course of this weekend. So if this is something that you're interested in, something that you've been kind of sitting on the fence to do, so anybody who's in Canada, so it is $197 Canadian without tax. So for anybody who's in Canada, it's kind of like usually it's $197 plus you have to pay tax. But it's $197, no additional cost for you to be able to attend for the weekend. And if you're in the US or in another country, then there'll be the US exchange rate. So obviously somebody from the US obviously gets it a lot cheaper than, because your dollar is worth more than ours. But like that kind of thing. And then there's other countries that it's going to be the opposite. So it's going to be a little bit more dollar-wise than it is for us, depending on the exchange rate. But that's but the system does all that part, so we don't have to try and figure out all those little things. And then you'll get access to the portal, and yeah, so there's going to be lots of fun. So I will come back on over the course of the weekend and share a little bit more details and things like that. But if you guys have questions, then definitely let me know. And the reason why I'm jumping on right now is because there were a few people that had some questions about how, and these are people that are already registered, that are already coming. They're like, okay, I don't understand. Like, I don't understand how we're going to be doing this, because we're going to be sitting on a Zoom call the whole time. Like, that's going to be like really lots. And We are kind of sitting on a Zoom call the entire time, but there's going to be movement, there's going to be activity, there's going to be where we're going to be kind of bouncing from a room to a room and being able to connect with other people. And so, because it really is about that connection, it really is about being able to feel supported, it really is about having those interactions with other people, because it really is that part is super, super, super important for me in terms of being able to plan that that section. So I will jump back in, share a little bit more information, and I will talk to you guys all soon. And I will definitely be on throughout the weekend giving you guys a little bit of more information and answering questions. So if somebody has a question, then I'm going to be able to jump in and answer what that's going to look like kind of questions. So whatever it is that you have in terms of those questions. So I will chat with all of you guys later and talk to you guys soon. Bye for now.